The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees. Welcome to Conversation with the Community Leader, brought to you by the Leadership Kitsap Foundation. I'm the host and Leadership Kitsap alum, Dave Walters. With me today, I have Wallace Ross, board member of the Bremerton Community Theater.
Thanks, Dave.
Wallace, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So Bremerton Community Theater has a really unique history. Founded in the 40s, initially funded by the federal government as a drama club to kind of entertain when we had 75,000 employees in the shipyard during the war efforts for morale and give them something positive to do. And then has moved to their location in the 70s, where they're now at 599 Lebo, which is right underneath the Warren Avenue Bridge on the east side.
I frequently tell people when I'm first telling them about the theater, say, you know, it's that one underneath the bridge.
The one tucked right underneath the bridge.
They're like, a bunch of trolls?
Yeah, it's a great location. So we've got lots to talk about with the theater, but first I want to talk about you for a little bit. Where are you originally from?
I grew up in the San Jose area in California.
Okay.
My mom was from the Portland area originally. My dad was from Yakima and Bainbridge originally. And so we would come up and visit my grandparents in both those areas all throughout my childhood. And then when they retired, they moved up here to Manchester.
Okay.
And so I moved up here in '93 after a career for about 7 years in the entertainment business down in the Los Angeles area. It kind of ran its course.
What did you do?
I was a PR representative.
Oh, okay.
So I worked, did publicity for a record label, SST Records in LA. It was a kind of a punk rock record label in '88 and '89. Worked with a lot of really cool bands. And then I worked for a PR company called Laster Dixon and Associates, an international PR firm, doing events like the Rock in Rio Festival in Brazil in '91 and stuff like that. And then, but it ran its course, and I was not that satisfied anymore. So I moved up here.
Did you go to college down there?
Yeah, I was at UC Irvine, in Irvine, California.
And what'd you get your degree in?
English.
Okay.
So I opened a poetry repair shop. No, I couldn't do that. But I was a freelance writer while I was living in Los Angeles, and then I moved up here in '93. And lived out of my parents' basement for about a year in Manchester, and then met my wife and found work, and I was a member of the Kitsap Community Action Program for a year.
Oh.
In '94, '95, and then from there I used the scholarship you get from doing service hours there to get a master's degree in teaching through City University in Tacoma.
Oh,
and so I started my teaching career in 1997.
Okay. And you did over 20 years with the CK School District.
I was lucky. I did my student teaching at Fairview Junior High, and then I interviewed at Fairview because in '97, that's when they were just transitioning to open the new school at Clahalia.
Oh, okay.
And so several teachers were moving around, so there were
kind of a shuffle.
openings. Yeah, it was a good timing. So I was at Fairview for about 17 years, and then when CK School District made its transition to have high schoolers be all the way to 9th grade, I moved from Fairview to Olympic High School, and I was there for 9 years, and I retired in 2023.
Okay. I retired in 23 as well.
Congratulations.
Okay. And your wife is also a school teacher.
Yeah, she was a Bremerton High School, Bremerton School District teacher, worked in several schools there from about 1993 to 2021.
So how'd you get involved in the Bremerton Community Theater?
Well, throughout high school, I was really into the drama and music programs, and I did a couple shows when I was at the university, musicals and stuff. And so when I moved up here, I didn't know anybody. And so after about 6 months or 4 months of not knowing anybody, and I was making money painting somebody's steps on Hood Canal, I decided, I'll audition for a play. And I auditioned for a play at Seastock.
Okay.
It was The Pirates of Penzance, and I got the lead. Whoa! And so I was like, who's that guy
you didn't
from
really
LA?
You didn't really tip your toe in. You dove in.
I just auditioned and they gave me the lead, and so I was Frederick, the pirate apprentice, and made a lot of friends. And my wife, I met her through that as well because she was a musician. Is a musician, and she was in frequent orchestra pits at Bremerton Theater and Seastock, and so I met her on stage during that show.
Okay, and then transitioned over to Bremerton from Seastock?
And I did lots of shows at Seastock from '94 till about 2000.
And they're still alive and doing well now.
Yeah. I'm not sure. There's an undercurrent of activity there, but I'm hoping to see them pop up like
their theater kind of disappeared on them, so hopefully they'll pop back up here.
But in 2002, I did a show at Bremerton Community Theater. It was 1776. They needed a lot of guys for that show.
Yeah.
And then the following year, we did Jesus Christ Superstar there. And so I did those two shows and then went back to Seastock. I was mostly there because Seastock was a place where we had all these friends and we had our kids were involved and that kind of thing. And then in about 2013, I think, there was a production of Richard III in the Little Theater at BCT that I did, and I think that was my first show there. And then I just did, from then on, I've just done shows there, about 1 or 2 a year.
And then now found yourself on the board?
Yeah, I've been on the board, I think, for about 6 or 7 years.
And BCT has no paid employees. It's just a volunteer army, right?
Totally, yes.
Board members, it's a working board.
Yeah, we have a 10-member board. 4 of them are the officers or executive board, and 6 at-large members, including people who are in charge of volunteers, the box office front of house, props and costumes, technology, production, and marketing, that kind of stuff.
So, how many shows a year do you have?
We have. Now you're catching me here. We have 5 main stage shows a year. Let's see, we got September, October. Five main stage shows a year, and sometimes 2, sometimes 1 black box production in the Robert B. Stewart showcase.
And that's just a much smaller stage that you have on and it's adjacent to it, right?
Yeah, it's sometimes called a little theater or a black box theater. We fit up to about 60 audience members in there. Sometimes it depends on the size of the show.
Okay. And then how long do the shows run?
They tend to run 4 weekends, and the musical, we have a spring musical every spring. It usually opens the first weekend of April, and that usually runs 5 weeks. But one of the changes we're looking at for the coming year is adjusting the number of weeks the shows run. So at our last board meeting, we just passed a resolution to shrink the show running length to be 3 weeks instead of 4 for the mainstay shows, and I think we're going to be moving the musicals from 5 weeks to just 4 weeks.
Okay.
And we found that we have overlapped a little bit with some of the other theaters, especially a lot of the Bainbridge Performing Arts shows. Our spring musical, when we've gone 5 weeks, always overlaps for about 1 week with the opening of their spring show. Okay. And so actors who might want to be in both can't do it.
Oh, can't do it. Because that's got to be a lot of commitment for the production.
Oh yes.
Not only do you have to build the sets, design.
A big commitment for the people who are on stage for every performance, and the people who are running the sound and light, and the stage managers and the crew, because they have to be there every performance for those 4 weeks, and for the musicals for 5 weeks.
And this April, the musical is Mamma Mia.
It is. Yeah, that's. We're hoping that people come in droves to that because it's just a family-friendly show. It's upbeat,
super fun, and
spring is in the air.
Hopefully, not too much singing along, but
we'll have the ushers there with mufflers.
And you also do usually a Christmas type show.
Yeah, we do Christmas shows that are BCT Junior shows. So BCT Junior is our youth theater outreach program that we have 2 shows a year, one in July and one in December. This year, and there's kind of a.
Are they on the main stage or in the?
It's on the main stage.
Oh wow, okay.
It's kind of a rotating set of shows we do there, especially the Christmas ones. Although last year was a huge exception. We did a junior version of Oliver. It was a huge, it was a big production, a different kind of BCT junior production for us.
And this year's Cinderella Christmas.
Yeah. So it's always some kind of fairy tale, like it could be Snow White or Cinderella or Little Mermaid, but it's a Christmas themed version.
So my wife and I have gone to many shows at the theater. We love it. It's a great date night.
Yeah,
And it's talk about bang for your entertainment dollar.
Oh, we are the cheapest.
So much fun.
We are the most inexpensive ticket in the county when it comes to fully staged productions.
Yeah.
Our plays are still $18 for adults, and even less for seniors and military and kids. And our BCG Junior productions, $12 a ticket. The musicals are the exceptions because they cost a lot more to put on a musical. The royalties are bigger. The music production is bigger. Sometimes you have to pay for rental of the soundtrack, or you're paying the musicians to be there. Mm-hmm. So musical, those tickets are $25. But compared to any other theater in the county.
So how do you decide what shows?
You
have a very unique way. I know the answer to this.
We have a play selection committee. And every year in around September, we try to fill a committee of people who are not on the board to be that part of that committee. And some of them will be actors, some people who are involved with other theaters, or people who have worked as volunteers in other aspects of the theater. And so that committee, and maybe 5 to 10 people, and it's coordinated by our vice president on our board. And they have a pretty huge task, because anybody who has proposed a show for the coming year, people who already have directed and want to direct this show or that show or these 3 shows possibly, or sometimes even playwrights will send us things they'd like us to
I saw your website actually has a button to fill out a form to recommend a show.
Yeah.
Which that's awesome. Yeah. Let's talk about getting input from everybody.
Yeah, we have that option. And so sometimes a play will be recommended by a patron or a director who says, I don't want to direct this, but I'd love to see you do it.
Oh, okay.
And so the play selection committee takes those plays and they read them. What I think they do is that if there are 20 plays to read, 3 of them each will read 3 or 4 plays, and then they'll recommend these are the top ones, and then the others will read them. So all the ones that are eventually recommended to us as a possible slate of shows for the year have been vetted by that committee.
And they're all family friendly. Sometimes some of the jokes are fun or are more adult.
Yeah.
But certainly family friendly.
We do our share of edgy productions.
Yeah, they're edgy. Yeah.
A couple in this year's season will be a little edgier. We're doing a play called The Humans in February that I think it's even a Pulitzer Prize-winning drama. But it's a little darker and a little more serious, and it has some creepy elements to it. And auditions for that are this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And then in the black box stage this May we're doing one called Old Ringers, which is a kind of bawdy senior citizen comedy. So before you go, you should do a little bit of research.
Well, the website's got the flyers for every single one of them. So you can find out exactly what you're in for. So how are you funded?
It's self-funded by the fundraisers. We have we'll do special fundraisers. We do quite well with the Kitsap Great Give every year. We put a real
Kitsap Great Give is March 10th this year, and
it seems like it's moving up and up.
It's March 10th, and this is the 10th year anniversary of the Great Give. So I looked that up this morning, so I make sure we could plug it for you.
Great. Yeah.
So March 10th, Great Give. And then also just from donations.
Yeah, our patrons.
Because obviously your ticket sales probably just keep the lights on.
Yeah, and they pay the royalty fees for the most part.
And then royalty fees. Does that piece into your decision making for what you're going to show?
It doesn't usually.
Is it a huge amount? Is it
for shows like Mamma Mia or Mary Poppins? Really. Especially Disney shows or musicals, those royalties tend to be really, really large. Yeah.
Ballpark?
Sometimes close to 15,000 for the run of the show.
Oh, that's considerably more than I was thinking.
Yeah.
And you don't really get anything for that.
Well,
you just get the ability to do it.
You get the rental of the scripts, you get the rental of the music, but if you pay them a little bit more, I think what might bump it up in the 15,000 range is if you're doing a musical and you need to rent the soundtrack to be played.
The official soundtrack.
Because that way, the director has to make a decision: do they want to have live orchestra members in the pit, or just play the canned music? And some directors they choose one exclusively over the other.
Oh, that's
And
super
to that
interesting.
end, our lighting and sound technicians, especially Kevin Matthew, our technology coordinator now, has made a real effort to improve the ability to do the sound quality of those kind of things. So recently, I think he just finished a project to create a soundboard inside the auditorium of our main stage. It's taken out about 3 or 4 seats, but it makes it easier to do the sound there instead of up in the booth, because you can actually hear the sound
you
in
can
there.
hear it. And
So we've improved the sound design.
So what's next for BCT? Right. I mean, you guys have been around since the 40s. So.
Well, we've invested a lot of money in the past 5 years in lots of upgrades. We recently recarpeted the lobby and the main auditorium, and also the green room. We've painted the exterior of the building. People might have noticed that the missing U in Bremerton Community Theater, when you've seen it from the Warren Avenue Bridge, we replaced that. So the marquee looks fine right now. And we've also restriped the parking lot and upgraded the handicap signage in the parking lot. What else? Oh, about 3 years ago, we did a complete HVAC replacement. So it's because it gets too cold and too hot. So we invested a lot of money in the last 5 years or so in some great upgrades. So our savings account has dipped a bit.
The reception area that's a lot of fun, because you hang out there before the show, at intermission. Whether you get a cocktail or whatever, they usually have some kind of snack too. And then afterwards, you actually get to talk to some of the performers.
Yeah, in the lobby.
It's just a great experience to go to that show.
I'd love to give a shout out to one of our volunteers,
yes, please.
Andy Jordan. He's our webmaster, and he creates all the graphics and the videos that are on our website and that are displayed in the lobby. He's also one of our bartenders. And he is very creative in creating a themed drink for each show.
Yes.
So we're doing a show right now called Leading Ladies, and involves some Shakespearean actors that have to dress in drag because they're trying to impersonate some women, and so the themed drink is called the debutante, or the debutante who's in disguise the debutante, I think it is.
So how can the community help support? I mean, it's a kind of a no-brainer answers, but what can the community do to help support the theater?
We'd like them to come see a show or 2 or 3.
You do season packets?
We do have season tickets package. So we have about 300 subscribers to our season tickets right now.
Oh, great.
And our top level was, we used to have about just over 400 people pre-COVID. We're still trying to overcome
It's getting farther in the rearview mirror, but it's getting there. Yeah, because that had to be really tough, because you kind of had to take a year off, right?
We did. When COVID hit, we were 3 weeks away from opening a production of Mary Poppins. And the June show had just begun rehearsals. So Mary Poppins actually was staged about a year and a half, 2 years later. But the show that was postponed, that was going to be in June, was called Shout. It's a 6-woman musical montage. They kept rehearsing it bit by bit, because it was only 6. They could be all socially distanced.
Yep.
So every few months, or every few weeks, they'd get together and rehearse in late 2020, early 21. And that was our first show back in June of 2020.
Because they'd been practicing for a year.
So they performed almost a year to the day when they would have originally.
Now, if someone wants to volunteer, what kind of volunteer do I have to have theater experience to volunteer?
No, if you can swing a hammer, we can use you. So we have
paint off.
We need people to help with stage construction, stage demolition at the end. When we strike the set at the end of a show, musicians. People who want to just interact with our audience in front of house volunteers, to be ushers and ticket takers, or if you're a trained bartender, we sometimes we're like, we need a bartender for this show because we don't have one in our schedule. And then actors, of course, we have, like I said before, we have auditions coming up even as soon as this weekend for the next production called The Humans. Auditions for Mamma Mia will probably be in early December.
Okay.
Or late December, early January.
Okay, so coming up here shortly.
Come see a show. What else?
So lots of ways to be involved.
Yeah. And donations, of course, we talked about the Kitsap Great Give. We have donations available on the website with just a click away. And we also have a thing called the Giving Tree, which is these large and small leaves that we can have it emblazoned with the name of a loved one who's passed on, or your family as a tribute to the theater. And those are $100 for a small leaf and $500 for a large leaf.
Oh, Nice. And then those are displayed
in the
somewhere
lobby.
In the lobby?
Yeah.
In the lobby. Awesome. So if I wanted to be an actor, do I have to have experience?
No, not really.
You'll take novices?
Yeah.
Not that I do not want to be. Just to be crystal clear.
But on our website at bctshows.com, we've got a button that says Get Involved. And if you click on that, you'll see it says membership, audition, volunteer, support the theater, and then call board. So if you're interested in auditions, you just click that and look for the auditions and what's coming up next. The call board is a newsletter, an online newsletter we put out about every 5 weeks or so, usually about a week before a show opens, that shows rehearsal pictures and gives you information about the show, but also things that are coming up soon and then how to get involved. Yeah.
And because we have incredibly talented people in Kitsap County.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that some people will perform in different theaters, so you're not just locked in.
Yeah.
So you'll get Bainbridge Island back and forth, or
others? People who do shows in our environment are also in Port Gamble at that theater, at the Jewel Box in Paulsbo, BPA and Ovation on Bainbridge, WWCA down in Port Orchard, which is still trying to come back after having lost their facility last year, and so they're all over the place.
And then do the organizations compare notes? Do anything peer to peer?
No, there's not a lot of that.
Okay.
And it can be mind-boggling sometimes in the early part of the year, like January, February, when the theaters announce their show slate for the next year.
Oh yeah,
they're going to do Romeo and Juliet. We're doing Romeo and Juliet. So who's going to change? Who's going to bulk? But there's usually it's just a crapshoot. What are they going to do?
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun though.
Yeah.
That's got to be a lot of fun.
But our play selection committee, I think they've already met, for the next season, the 26-27 season, and we have a board meeting coming up tomorrow night, where I think we're going to get a presentation from our vice president on what they're recommending to be our show slate for next year.
For the
26-27
season.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges?
Challenges, keeping the lights on, but the physical plant costs have risen astronomically.
Yeah.
Our heating, water charges in the city of Bremerton, wow, big charges. Insurance, liability insurance, and there's been some flooding along Leba Boulevard that has affected us. It's poured into our green room where all the actors congregate about 3 or 4 times in the past couple of years that we've had to deal with that. And so we're still trying to remediate, figure out exactly which drain needs to be unplugged and whose responsibility is it, us or the city. But the challenges, when it comes to auditions, we tend to get about 3 times as many women, or maybe more, auditioning than we have men auditioning for roles.
Because I've been one where they have had women play men's roles, just probably because of the numbers.
And we encourage directors to be gender neutral when it comes to their casting.
Oh yeah.
So if it's a police officer or even someone in authority, I'm directing a show this spring called Perfect Crime, and there are only 4 characters in there, but 2 of them I could see having some of them either gender.
Oh, okay.
Any gender playing that.
But more men would be nice to.
Yeah, we'd love to see
audition.
more men auditioning. So it's going to be we're a long ways away from being able to do 1776 again, unless we do it with gender neutral casting.
Right. Well, our time is gone. It's gone fast. So I'd like to thank you and everything the board, the theater does for our community, because we have a vibrant art community in Kitsap County and especially in Bremerton. Bremerton is thriving right now with their arts. So I'd like to thank you for everything you guys do. Please join us, bctshows.org. bctshows.com, and of course leadershipkitsap.org for more information. And thank you for joining me on Conversation with the Community Leader. I look forward to seeing you next time.